Welcome to a new series here on YouTube. We're back on Football Manager 2021 in a series I have been wanting to do ever since I plugged in a headset and recorded a Football Manager video. My previous projects with AFC Filed on Football Manager 20 and Austin on the FM21 beta were merely precursors to Sunday League to Legend. The club is Leyland Albion, a junior Sunday League team based in the former market town of Leyland in Lancashire. Leyland Albion is my old club, the one I represented as a youngster. In 1997-98, I was named Clubman of the Year, which at the time was something of an accomplishment, but I have since discovered that the Clubman Award is generally reserved for the player with an abundance of enthusiasm despite a startling lack of ability. That does sound about right. Leyland Albion was founded in the 1980s. The name itself stems from the proud history of the town relating to the manufacture of vehicles. Leyland Motors took over Albion Motors in the early 1950s, and the club badge is in honour of the town's heritage. Before we go any further, I want to thank Steve, the FM editor, for the database, and FM Custom Kits for the shirts that our players will be sporting. Our sponsor is John Fishwick and Sons, a local bus company that went out of business a few years ago. Hopefully with our support it can make a return. Links to both the FM editor and FM custom kits will be in the description below. Leyland Albion ply their trade these days at Fox Lane in Leyland, which has changed since I was there in the 90s because that was Worden Park. Worden Park is now our training ground. We compete in the North West Counties Division, Division 1 North, which is at level 10. We have a long way to go until we even reach the National League. As you can see, other teams there, the likes of AFC Blackpool, AFC Darwin, Bury AFC, Garstang are another local team to us, and if we have a quick look at the season preview, we can see that Albion are expected to finish 7th, mid-table, whereas the heavy odds-on favourites, 1 to 91, are Bury AFC. Up there also the likes of Nelson, so look out for them. In terms of our staff, we have myself, who has a Sunday League reputation and no coaching badges. Hardcore, gone for it. I am sporting a lovely 90s curtains haircut. If nothing else, that is amazingly impressive. My assistant is João Zarco, Portuguese. He's on a non-contract terms month to month, but he does have a Continental A licence. Fair play to him. Chairman is Jane Wilcock, and our owner is Victor Sololnikov. Both Vic and Zarko are a nod to Philip Kerr, one of my favourite authors. He died the last couple of years following releasing a few football books. If you get the chance, check them out. Both of those characters are featured heavily in those books. Jane Wilcock is actually currently on the board of Atherton Labanum Rovers, who we effectively booted out to make way for Leyland Albion. So I have extended her the courtesy of continuing in the game. Vic, that's what I'm going to call him from now on, just to avoid having to say that surname, is set as a background sugar daddy to keep us going. I'm fairly sure that doesn't mean he's going to plump millions and millions into the club. If he does, I'm certainly not going to spend it. But he will keep us on an even keel. As you'd expect for a Ukrainian oligarch with shady Russian connections, he's moved into the local area and has supported a local football team. Fair play to him. The same policy of bringing Jane Wilcock along have applied to Atherton players as well. We've given them the chance to stay in the league. This is the first time I am going to meet my squad. So let's just put them in a reports filter. Let's have a look at the under 23s and the under 18s as well, because we're going to need them all. So as you can see, we actually do have some 5-star ability and potential. They're not going to stay with us, are they? There's no chance. So Jamie Forbes, Mark Battersby, Connor Comer and Andy Barlow are the quite high up ones. Now, I'm fairly sure that they have moved over from Atherton. I don't have my list in front of me of the players that came over, but I'm fairly sure that they are among them. Yeah, he was with Atherton before. So the chances of them continuing with us, I suspect, are not brilliant. But we do have a player called Diogo Espirito Santo, who is a 16-year-old English lad, possibly from parents from abroad, maybe. 14 teamwork and 16 balance. At least he can stay upright. This is the first time that I've met the playing squad, so I'm just going to put them in position order. Andy Kane looks like he's going to be our goalkeeper, doesn't he? For the moment. That doesn't look too bad. Maybe. Oh God. Oh, he's 36 years old. Was he one of the guys that came over as well? Well, he was previously at Harrogate some, what's that, 12 years ago? Okay. This is going to be a massive problem, isn't it? The good players, I suspect, will be poached immediately, and they will disappear. So, yeah, the likes of Jamie Forbes probably never going to even pull on a Leyland Albion shirt, is he? I mean, there's a massive disparity, though, between them. Some players are on 4 stars. I mean, then it goes right down. I mean, how bad is Andrew Olsen? Pretty bad. I mean, we know it's going to be a problem dealing with players with attributes in single figures. I don't actually have a lot of experience below National League level in Football Manager, and that was only for 1 season with AFC filed last year. We got promoted straight away. I didn't have to worry about it. We signed Cesc Fabregas and Aaron Lennon. It's not going to happen here, though, is it? Certainly not for a few years. We are right in the doldrums in the Northwest Division 1 North. Media prediction is 10th. That's mid-table. Okay. Our rivalries include Bamber Bridge, Longridge, AFC Darwin, who are in our league this year, Chorley, and then we've got Charlotte Richard and Preston. So all pretty local sides, and they've been set as those in the database purely because it gives us something to crack on with later on in the save. I mean, we have a long way to go to get up to play many of these teams. I mean, Preston are a solid championship side with a shot of promotion this year. Chorley relegated to the National League North. We're 4 promotions away from there, 5 promotions maybe, from even getting a look in. We should play the likes of Charlotte Richard and Longridge pretty soon, next year maybe, if we get promoted. AFC Darwin are obviously in our league as it stands. Yeah. So here we are with our stadium and our facilities. We've got Fox Lane, which has a capacity of 500. I reckon you can get 500 stood around a football pitch. 50 seated. That's mainly for the cricket members. I think they've got to stand there. We own it. Yeah, I'm not messing about with that. Stadium condition is actually very good. It's a nice place to be if you've ever visited there. Surface of grass. The pitch is currently perfect. Won't be in a few weeks. Our youth stadium, they use the same thing, but our training ground, as I said, is over at Worden Park. Set for that one, no undersoil heating, nothing, no creature comforts or anything like that. Capacity of 25, which I think is generous. To be honest, the amount that would turn up to watch a game at Wordham Park, and certainly if you're in Lancashire, you aren't turning up to a game in the next month or so. We have no affiliate clubs yet, so I think that could be one area that we start with. Start having a look there. And in terms of history, we don't have any, because the club was founded in 2020. So this year we have poor training facilities and poor youth facilities. And we also have poor coaching staff as well. I include myself in there. In terms of tactics, I am going to put one together for the upcoming friendlies, but anything below a 4-4-2 probably looks out of reach. Do we actually have? Yeah, we've got a couple of good strikers, Comer and Battersby, so they're going to be probably our number one strike force. But we've also got young lads coming through, Bjorn Anton Tryggvason. I'm just going to very casually shorten his name just to Bjorn, I think. There we go. That makes it a little bit easier, doesn't it? I don't have to pronounce so many Icelandic names that get horribly wrong and offend people. So he looks to be a pretty decent backer with potential on a youth contract. So youth contracts, I think we've got them for 2 years. Is that right? Yes, so until 2022. However, for the other players, some of them are without a contract. You can see that. So who have we got there? Yeah, most of our first team players not on a contract. In fact, they're all on non-contract terms. Then we've got our youth prospects that have got a good 2 years on them. The only others there are the likes of Olsen, worst striker, Kane and Barlow, who are on a few quid a week. In terms of our wage budget, let's have a look what we've got. Our overall balance is £6,000. That's what I've got in the bank. No transfer budget, of course. So we are currently spending more than our wage budget will allow. I've already just started, honestly. I mean, what chance have we got? In terms of our projection, how far in the hole are we going to get? Oh, not that much. That always worries me when it goes vastly downhill. But £50,000 down at the end of 3 seasons, it's not too bad, is it? We've obviously got no sponsors or whatsoever. No debt though, so let's think that's positive. Yeah, there we are. £229 we're spending per week, which means the rest of it, I assume, is topped up through other people. I mean, I'm paid a ridiculous amount of £325 per week, which is more than the wage budget of the club. Yeah, more than the wage budget of the club. I wonder if I can pump some cash back in. This will be like a Neil Warnock Crystal Palace situation here, getting my credit card out. But be that as it may, in terms of our scheduled competitions, so we are, of course, in the league. That begins in 68 days. Right, there's going to be a lot of playing behind the scenes here, isn't there, to get up to that stage. Build Base FA Vars. We enter the first qualifying round, and the board only want us to win 1 game to get through to the second qualifying round. They don't care about the Northwest Counties Cup, which is positive because we'll probably get knocked out first round anyway. Mid-table expectation in the league. Combine that with the media prediction and the betting odds, then I would suggest that that would be something that we could achieve. I don't think that's beyond the realms of possibility. In terms of key players, we've only got one on that list, Connor Comer. He is the big one there. Plenty of new managers. Obviously, if we look at the staff list, we will see that there are a plethora of available jobs. So here we are. I mean, starting with Derby up in the Championship. Sunderland, which has just been taken by Lee Johnson, I think. Wigan's on there, Chesterfield. But of course, all these clubs are the clubs that have been added. So they are all on the lookout for new managers, including Charlotte Richard. They were on there. Plenty of clubs. Squires Gate, which is one of the Blackpool clubs. So in Blackpool, just on the way into Lytham, you've got a bit of a triangle there. There's AFC Blackpool, Blackpool Wren Rovers, who don't even make level 10, and then Squires Gate, all within like a couple of 100 yards of each other, really. I did notice that Lewis FC are available as well. Are they? Lewis? Did I see that? Yes, there they are. So Lewis SC, a club of mine back in the day. I managed Lewis on FM 2007, maybe 2008, which was the green one. 07, I think. They are a fan-owned club that you can actually, I believe, still own part of the club. So they are back up into the Isthmian Premier Division. Is that the Premier? Yes, it is. They are very much the opposite end of the country, down right in the south. They play at the Dripping Pan. Now, before we end this introduction video, just want to say that there are rules in place. This isn't just take Sunday League club Leyland Albion to the top. There is a format and a structure. As we know, as experienced football managers, and if you are one, you know what I mean, it has become an easy game. The rules of this save are designed to make it more difficult for me and yet simpler to follow for the viewer at the same time. The first rule is that attribute masking is on. I've just seen, I think it was Tony Jameson talking on Twitter about people replying to him saying that they turn it off. Can't do that. I never have done that, as far as I'm aware. It is, in realistic terms, as a football manager, even at a very lower level, there are few players you can't just jump on the internet and find out information for. You can have a look on YouTube. Now with streaming as well of non-league games, you can watch players, you can scout from there. But I'm saying no. Attribute masking is well and truly on. There is also no use of the in-game editor, which I actually don't own for FM21, so that shouldn't be much of a problem. The only editing that has been done is on the editor itself prior to starting the game. Rule 2 is that there is no cheating, no scouring the internet for downloads of overpowered tactics, wonder kids, importing set pieces, or training routines. Even shortlists are off the table. Not happening. I do generally try and avoid that sort of thing anyway, because you want to find out stuff for yourself. But I know that people do have a quick look. Rule 3 is that player signings are restricted to one of 3 categories. If they themselves or their agent approaches the club, if they are recommended by a staff member, or those that I am aware of having played against them in the game. So as an example, if one of our games we play Garstang, their players who appeared that day, I will be aware of them, I've played against them, and therefore they are part of our universe. Rule 4 is that I cannot even consider leaving Leyland Albion until I am listed as a club legend. Even then, I'll be making realistic decisions based on what I would do in real life. So if I'm quite settled here at Leyland Albion, we've been here for say 6 years, getting promotions up and down, then it's going to take a lot of cash thrown my way to up sticks and move. That's where the realism comes in. The other thing to worry about is, of course, that if we do get relegated, it's game over, because there is no level 11. That's it. And on that note, that's all we have for today in this introductory video. I will, of course, appreciate massively a like or a subscribe if you are feeling generous. The plan is to release videos on a Monday, Wednesday and Friday going forward. This is pretty much going to be my main save. There'll be little other ones that crop up. I am doing something with the A-League when it begins very late in December. I think it's the 27th of December the A-League kicks in. Prior to that, I will be concentrating my efforts here, and even when that starts, continuing absolutely here with Leyland Albion. This is going to be my long-term save for the coming season. So thank you for joining me for the first video. We will get started on Wednesday with a friendly. I think we will do. Why not? Why wouldn't we do that? We'll start there. I mean, I've got my eye on Ecclesall FC, maybe? Or do we want to go at home? Possibly a home one. Maybe ease our way in, because I mean, it's going to be difficult. After that, then we've got a couple of cup games. So we've got the Build-Base FA Vars, the North West Counties first qualifying round before we start the league proper on the 3rd of October. So because of COVID this year, the coronavirus pandemic, everything was pushed back. So that is why there is quite a gap between now when we start the game in July and 3 months later we will start the league fixtures. In fact, no, we won't do that. Sorry, complete misinformation. We can kick off against Garstang in September. That's why. But then there is a break for the cup games. That's why. So thank you for joining me for today. As always, I appreciate you coming along for the ride, and I'll see you next time.